All right. Welcome, everybody. Super excited to have you guys here. There's a lot that I want to cover today. Most specifically, I'm going to be sharing specific Shine-On products that you can upload on Etsy, along as answering a lot of the potential questions that you guys have. So before we get started, I would love to know where you guys are currently joining me from today. And like I mentioned as well, I have a surprise guest as well that will be joining us today. Lots that I want to go through. There has been a lot of changes, as you guys know, in the last 6 months on Etsy, especially when it comes to the Shine On front, as to what you can upload and what you cannot upload. Hi from Portugal, CM. Super nice to have you. Who else is here today joining us? Let me know where you guys are watching this from. Kim from Guatemala. Love it. I'm currently in Miami. We have somebody joining as well from Norway. Amazing. I love how we have folks from all around the world. Latvia as well, Olga. This is so much fun. Wendy, how's it going, Wendy? Chicago. I love it. I love it. So we have folks watching from all over the world. South Jersey, yay, close to New York. Connecticut. Awesome. Well, welcome, guys. I'm super excited to get started. And without further ado, let's dive in. So, first things first, I think it's no secret by now that I love Shine On, especially because that's how I started my Etsy journey, selling strictly Shine On products. I loved Shine On from day one because of their high profit margins. It also was extremely fast and reliable shipping. It's a very reliable POD supplier. As somebody who's been around the block, I used to work with Printful, Printify. I'm not putting dust on them, but when I found Shine On, let's just say I was really, really happy, especially because of the profit margins and selling jewelry. However, so unfortunately, what happened to us was that I think it was October 2023, end of October 2023, Etsy decided that a lot of the Shine On products were not handmade compliant. So a lot of the love knots, Cuban chain, a lot of the necklaces that had a message card are no longer compliant because they see these products as being drop shipped products and the personalization factor is only the message card. So obviously it was devastating within the Shine On Etsy community, but folks who actually pushed through and were able to continue uploading products, Shine On products that were okay, compliant, if you will, made a lot of money. And I'm going to share with you one specific case study of somebody who's one of my students, just to show you what the possibilities were. And this was obviously for Q4. If it plays.
35,000. I think I've actually done another 1,000 since then. So I'm at like 35, 36,000 since November 1st. And I am so excited because I did $50,000 in 2023. 35,000 in just November 1st to Christmas.
Okay, so this is Deborah, and she, like a lot of you guys, had her Etsy Shine On listings taken down, but she went ahead and re-uploaded Etsy Shine On listings that were compliant, because what happened is that the Etsy integration app was completely taken down, right? And so there were other solutions in the market, which I'm going to share with you guys on how you can upload Shine On products on Etsy. And so folks who pushed through ended up making money versus folks who were disappointed and licking their wound, unfortunately, never were able to recuperate from what had happened. So needless to say, I want to talk about, first and foremost, how you can earn bigger profit margins by uploading Shine On products on Etsy. I'm also going to talk about which Shine On products are allowed on Etsy, because I know it could be very confusing, and which Shine On products are not compliant. So I'm going to go through the list. And I know that they actually announced a few products earlier today at 11 o'clock. I was not able to join the call, But this is where we are and where we stand as of today. And by the way, I have a surprise guest who also is going to help us answer some of these questions as to how to upload these listings now that we are in 2024. So when it comes to the jewelry catalog, unfortunately, there's a lot of things that we can no longer upload, such as the simple pendants, the crosses. For buyer upload as well, just an FYI, when it comes to photos, I have heard of some sellers getting their items taken down. You have to make sure that you can include a graphic that is more recommended, so something that is engraved versus having a photo upload of an actual item and jewelry. For whatever reason, that could trigger the AI bots, right? So anything jewelry, unfortunately, is not allowed on anything jewelry where it's just like the message card is what I'm trying to say, is not allowed on Etsy. Now, the good news is that the catalog is expanding. The woven blanket, by the way, guys, are selling like hotcake. Classic pillows just came out, welcome mats as well, which those welcome mats are very different from what T Launches has available, which could also be a great differentiator in the Etsy marketplace. So these items are totally compliant. These other bangles, which are old products that Shineon has, as long as you have a graphic element, you're totally fine to upload these bangles, which essentially you just like create your own design here. You can have your customer create their own designs. Then you have the leather wallets, the graphic journals, who also are selling really well on Shineon. You have the tote bags that just came out. You have printed acrylic. You have different types of engraving within or different types of forms within the acrylics and the keychain. And then finally, these are newer products that just came out, which are metal gloss art prints along with wood frame wall tapestry. Therefore, like, you guys have an array of different options when you are selling with Shineon, right? So now the next question, I'm sure, is, well, okay, great, but what is actually selling, right? So before we go through the list of what is actually selling, I encourage you guys to take a screenshot of all the compliant products so you have it as a reference and you know exactly what you can upload, right? Like, I gave it to you in a more graphical way, but I also think it's important for you to have this as a screenshot so you can refer back to it when needed, right? So graphic jewelry is fine, acrylic product, leather journal, leather wallets, woven blankets, wall tapestry, stockings, welcome mat, wall pennants, tote bags, metal art, etc. All of that is compliant. What is not compliant is anything that has a message card, right? So the love knot, forever love, Cuban chain, name necklaces, open work watches, the list goes on. So just make a mental note of these items. And now, without further ado, let me walk you through some products that are actually doing really well. So this is a custom photo pillow, which we know Shineon now has pillows. The reason I wanted to share this idea with you is so you can start thinking about, okay, what is selling well on Etsy? Now, you notice as well that this listing only has been live for 6 months. It's really straightforward, very easy. And it's making decent. It's making $3,800 in monthly revenue. So this is a potential idea. Obviously, you'd have to differentiate yourself, and you probably would have to figure out a different theme in order to be successful. But this is a great example of something that you could potentially do with some of the pillows that Shineon just came out with. Another example of a product that is doing well, also notice it's been up for only 3 months, guys. And this is very different from what a lot of folks are putting out there, right? So essentially it's a quote, a difference maker. And then it's also, notice as well how it's personalized. And the item reads, a dedicated person who can make a big impact even with just a small action, yada, yada, right? But this is probably inspired, I mean, I would assume probably from wall art or any other place where they essentially saw that reference and saw that it was performing well, and they put it on a journal. So again, you really have to start thinking outside the box, because what I've noticed, especially as folks get started on Etsy, is that they tend to replicate what's already available in the marketplace. And you always have to think of ways to differentiating yourself. And that's why personalization is such an easy way to add that extra oomph, that extra element that's going to make the gift more emotional. And also it's an easy way to differentiate yourself, because most sellers out there are intimidated by the aspect of personalization, because logistically it feels a little bit more overwhelming. And so you can have an edge by simply personalizing something that is performing well. Here's another trend that actually is not as obvious that I want to share with you guys. I don't know if you are aware of Emily Mariko. She's an influencer, and she actually has a tote bag that has gone completely viral. It's actually a farmer market tote bag, which is very bland, very simple. But overall, based on research that I've done, tote bags are going to be really an item that folks are going to be searching for spring and summer. This is an example of a tote bag that's doing pretty decent right now on Etsy. It's called the Friday list. And if you read the items, it's actually really funny. This is something that a lot of folks would find comical and would want to purchase for themselves, right? So items: shut up and dance, call me maybe, you belong with me, no roots. So this is a really fun way of essentially putting together a tote bag that folks can use either to go to work or to go to the farmer's market, you name it, right? So lots of opportunity with tote bags. And now we know that Shineon has tote bags available. And like I've mentioned, you can also tap into this trend, because this Emily Mariko tote bag is completely sold out. So if you are not aware of this influencer, if you're not aware of the trend, what I recommend that you do right after this video is do some additional research. Okay, so I've given you a few ideas which should help you start having your wheel spinning, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. There's lots of opportunities. Now I know exactly what I can upload on Shineon, what I cannot upload on Shineon, and I see where there are potential opportunity. Right? So your next question is, okay, great, but how do I upload items? How do I personalize these items? How do I make more money, right, with personalizing these items? Well, we're going to have a chat with Chris, who's my special guest today, and I'm going to share with you how you can do that specifically with Anywhere POD. Using Shineon. So I'm going to allow Chris on the stage. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So unfortunately, as of today, right, Shineon no longer has an integration app with Etsy. So really, if you are looking to upload, either you do it manually, which could be very time consuming, or you can use a partner like Anywhere POD, which is going to make your life much easier. Okay, so welcome, Chris.
Thanks.
Yeah, so essentially I wanted to bring Chris in because a lot of folks have been asking me lots of questions about how to upload, and most importantly, understanding how to make personalization work. And I also know that you mentioned the fact that now you have bulk uploads available. So the first step I think that everybody would benefit from, especially for folks who are newer, is understanding how they can upload Shineon listings using Anywhere POD. So I think if you could just give us a little demo.
Yeah, I can run through a quick demo. I guess first of all, real quick, for those that haven't heard of Anywhere POD, as Luna said, we do one of our big things that we do is personalization with Etsy, but especially for Shineon products where you can't list non-personalized products directly anymore. We make that process as easy as possible as well. So personalization is definitely a big draw and can make it a lot easier. We can automate that process, but even for non-personalized products, we make the creation process super, super easy and super simple for you guys as well. So let me pull up my screen here and I'll just run through a quick demo. Let's see here. Okay, you should be
Yep.
seeing my screen. Okay, perfect. So I'll run through a quick demo of just building a personalized product, and then I'll also touch on the bulk uploader real quick. I will say there's a lot of additional features in Anywhere POD that we won't have the time to get to today. But setting up your account, you get a free 7-day trial. Jump in, check it out. We have a lot of training videos, and our support team's always happy to answer any questions that you have. So. Okay, so to get started.
Yeah, and I'll include my link as well in the comments section for everybody.
Perfect. So to get started, when you come in, we'll talk about some of these other suppliers in a little bit. But our example today we're going to talk about is with Shineon. So the first thing you need to do is connect your Etsy store. You simply just click on connect here and approve the connection. With Shineon, we have a video and a little list of instructions. You just need to get an API token from your Shineon account. It's pretty simple to do. And again, if you run into any trouble or have any questions, just let us know. So let me just jump over to my store that's already connected here. And we're going to go into some Shineon products here. Now, when you come into here, you'll notice that all of the products that Luna was just going over of what's compliant, what's not compliant, we try to make that as easy as possible. So if you're only selling on Etsy, the only thing you're going to see in our list are products that are able to be actually listed on Etsy. So you don't have to worry about picking the wrong product and having an issue with your store or anything like that. So you're only going to see the compliant products listed. So today we're going to do an example acrylic design here. So we're just going to come into the square acrylic plaque and click on Start Designing. Now this is going to open up our designer, and anything you upload here is automatically going to be resized to the correct dimensions that Shineon needs when the order goes through to them. So we're going to go into Upload Artwork, and let me just find my demo here. There we go. So this is like a baby nursery nightlight type design that you could put on the acrylics with the LED light on them. So we have our design on here. Now we're just going to add a spot for personalization here in the middle. And we're going to stretch that out so they can accept a longer formatted name. And then you just put in what you want your placeholder text to be. You can either do like an enter name here, or in this case, I'm going to actually put in an actual name for demo purposes. And then you can select a font here. We'll go with that. And then for our color, we want to kind of match this blue in our design. So we're just going to click on the design, and it's going to automatically set our color to match what is in the design already. And let's make that text just a little bit bigger there. And then all we need to do is check the box here that says it's personalized. And that is what's going to flag the system to say, okay, when they turn on personalization in their Etsy listing and an order comes in, whatever the text enters, the text the customer enters, we're going to swap that out with your placeholder text and automatically put it in here and build the personalized artwork all automatically for you. So if I go to create product now, you can see we're going to generate that placeholder artwork. And then the other thing that you're able to do in here is you actually get all of the mockups that Shineon has available. So you don't have to go to another source to get mockups or do anything like that. They're all going to be in here, and you can select which mockups that you want to apply to this listing. If you use the same set of mockups every time for the product, if you set the set selection as default, it's going to automatically select those same mockups for you every time. Again, we're just trying to cut out extra steps and extra manual work for you guys when you're doing your listings.
This is such a time saver, guys, specifically if you're looking to do more personalized listings, but also it gives you the ability to upload Shineon without having to do it manually. So you'll be saving so much time with the upload process overall. And especially, I can't wait to see the bulk feature.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the basics for building a product. I'll run through a demo of doing the bulk upload real quick here. And then we can have as much time for questions as we can. One thing to note on here, you'll notice there's a lot of additional features here. You can generate a slide style show video that automatically goes through with your listing. That's a neat thing to check out. Our add variants feature here is very popular as well. Like in this case, I've got the blue variation. If I wanted to add an artwork variation and give them the choice of also being able to pick for pink, I could do that and combine that into one listing very easily without having to copy SKUs back and forth and all that sort of thing. So I'd recommend definitely coming in and checking out some of those additional features. We have videos on most of them, including our Etsy analyzer here. Those are all good things to check out on our YouTube videos at a later time. So for our bulk upload, I've got another product here ready to go. So this is just a static design. There's not personalization on this one, although you can do personalization with a bulk uploader as well. So essentially what you can do with the bulk uploader is take an initial product like this and use it as a template. So any of the title and the description, the tags, your variant options, anything like that will carry through with the bulk upload. So in this case, I've got 4 or 5 other sports designs that I want to create products for as well. So instead of having to go through that process and upload them one at a time, I'm able to build all my designs, say in Canva, all at once, export 5, 10, 20 designs, however many I want to do. And then after I build the first one, I can just come in here and click on bulk upload. And then we go to choose files. And you have the ability to upload then multiple files here into the bulk upload. So I'm just going to select my 5 additional designs, and it's going to upload them here and show me a little preview and give me a chance to change the titles. We're going to automatically pull in the file name by default on the title.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to pull those in. If you want these as soon as the mockups and everything are done to publish to your Etsy drafts, you can check this box here. That way you don't have to go through and do them one at a time afterwards, but it's up to you on how you want to publish them. So now that I've got those 5 there, all I need to do is click on submit. And now this is going to go through in the background. You can see it's already started to create those 5 products. It's going to go through, it's going to generate the artwork, the proper artwork for me. It's going to go through and generate all of the mockups that I had previously selected, all of my title, description, tags, everything's going to all be set up and created for me automatically. And it's going to publish those to my drafts in Etsy. So I can do these. I did 5 here. You can do, I think we have it up to 50 at a time right now. So it can save you lots of time on being able to upload new listings.
Especially, guys, for holidays that are more competitive, like Mother's Day and Father's Day, those are highly competitive. Even the wedding niche is extremely competitive. You need to be uploading more listings because your competition, that's what they're doing, right? So in order to find that winner, it's going to take more variations, more work. So having the bulk uploader is going to make all the difference. Your competition, when it comes to apparel, is uploading 50 different design variation for one idea, just to give you some insights, right? Like those are folks who are easily making 10K plus sales a year. So you have to,
even if they're, sorry, even if they're not totally unique designs, we'll have times where people will be like, well, I'm designing this artwork. Does it look better with these palm trees or without them? Or it's like, build it in Canva. You can just duplicate that design onto another page in Canva, remove the one element that you're not sure about, and upload both of them.
Exactly. And especially when it comes to design elements, you have to test different variations, especially with apparel. Like I've seen designs that are really trending right now, which is like the mama, which is like a couple times. And then there's a bolt that's going through it. And so with that, you could test with the bolt, with a different design inside the bolt, like, etc. The same goes with some of the plaques. The same goes with a lot of the new print-on-demand products now available with Shineon. So if you are serious about having your steak for Mother's Day, you are going to have to upload more volume. That's just the nature of the game because it's just more competitive.
Yep. And even if you're having, I know some people will have, VAs that work on designs. You can give your VAs, here's, 100 designs that I want. And in like a couple of minutes, you can have products and listings created for all 100 designs. So it's a huge, huge time saver. And soon we're going to be able to pull over Like, you know how in Etsy you can select different holidays and different materials depending on where it's going. We're going to set it up where all that can pull over into your initial listing as well. So that's just one less thing then that you have to go to Etsy and set up. So it's really going to be, I mean, it's a huge time saver now, but we have plans to make it, even better in the future.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's the majority of the bulk uploader. I don't know if there's anything else specific you would like to see, Luna, or if we want to take some time to answer some questions.
Absolutely. We can answer some questions. The other thing I want to mention as well, because this is something that is a recurring question that I get, is should I stick to just selling Shineon? Now, I would say in 2024, I recommend that you sell different suppliers and you have a general store, especially when you are just getting started, because you don't have data yet as to what is working for you. And you're better off testing different things to see what's going to give. At the end of the day, my personal opinion, and folks disagree with me, Etsy is a marketplace. You don't need to have gorgeous branding to have an Etsy store, unlike Shopify. Why? Because people trust Etsy. It's kind of like Amazon, right? Like, how often do you find yourself clicking on the actual brand that's selling the item? Your website is your listing on Etsy, which actually is your strength, and that's why it's so beginner friendly. So instead of getting caught up and having the perfect brand, especially as a beginner, I'd rather have you upload different products from different suppliers based on what the data is telling you, right? So maybe we can share with them. I know you guys have a bunch of other products that are. The first question I know people are going to ask me, because Shineon just released a bunch of new products. I know everybody's going to be asking me, so when will those products be available on Anywhere POD?
Yeah, so they're releasing new products like every month. I think their plan is to do the second Friday of every month. So the ones they released last month, the pillow, all that stuff, we already have in and loaded. I got the new products that they just released today, which I know you weren't on it, but they're really cool. They have multiple different. They have a beach towel. What else was it? A bath towel and a sport towel that are really cool. They're doing gallery wrapped canvas, which is really nice. And they have women's denim jackets and a weekender tote bag. So we should have all of those into Anywhere POD very soon. I got probably 90% of the information that we needed to get those listed already from Shineon. I'm just waiting for a couple more pieces of information. And as soon as we have that, we'll have those listed. So that'll be, if we don't have it later today, I'm sure early next week we'll have the information from them and we'll be able to have that listed. And we plan to keep up with that every month as they release new products. We'll be able to have them listed very quickly.
So somebody's asking, can I connect several providers with Anywhere POD, or can I only pick one? And the answer is, yeah, you can connect multiple.
Yeah, so let's look at some of the providers that we have. So one of the things that we're focusing on at Anywhere POD, aside from having the popular suppliers that everybody knows about, right, like the Printify and the Shineon, we're also trying to find some unique suppliers with unique products that you don't really have available other places. So we have a few of those in here now. We have conversations with 2 or 3 more that we're working on getting added to the system, so you can be on the lookout for those. But you can see here, Printify, I think everybody's probably pretty familiar with them. They have a huge array of different products and different suppliers available. Custom Cat, a little bit of a crossover with some of the products offered by Printify. They have a few drinkware options that aren't available in Printify, and their direct-to-garment printing technology is a unique process across the entire industry that is very, very high quality. So it's definitely one that's worth checking out. Deco Plate is a really cool supplier. The main thing from them that I'm excited about are these plates, platters, and bowls. So these are a really unique product. It's a fully sublimated plate that is not breakable and is chemical free, heat resistant, all that kind of stuff. So these do really, really well, especially around
Mother's Day.
like Father's Day. People use them for like grilling plates.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
really popular. Yeah, yeah, because they're heat resistant, so they work really well to
Ah,
do.
I saw
Yeah,
memes. It was like, oh, Mother's Day.
yeah, Mother's Day, they do great for Mother's Day too. You'll see some of them that'll have that like mom's garden or grandma's garden with like all the kids' names on it. Lots of different options there. The thing I really like about these is if you go and you search Etsy for the competition on any of these products from Decoplate, you see very low competition because they don't have any direct integration with Etsy at all. So you either have people that are doing it manually with manual personalization, or they're using Anywhere POD. So your competition is really low. Your profit margins are really good. These platters, your cost on them is $15, and they sell for anywhere from $30 up to $45 per platter. So they're really good.
And those are the kinds of products that I love. That's why
Yes.
personally my favorite right now is the Shineon blanket as well. The profit margins are amazing on those. So guys, like
Yep.
that's the other thing. It's good to have a mix of products because you're going to have different kind of customers, right? You're going to have customers who are going to want items that are in the cheaper bracket, but you also going to have customers who are okay with paying more, which is why it's healthy to have different items. And the other thing I want to mention is, like I said, folks overall are always going to, your competition is always going to look for an easy outlet, right? Like folks who are not adding personalization, they're going to use just Printify and whatnot. Like your strength is first off knowing the availability of that you have Shineon, and also here with this live that we're having, understanding that there's other POD suppliers that other folks might not even know of. So that gives you an edge as well inside the Etsy marketplace.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. The other thing I really like about these is being able to do items or orders that have multiple items on them. So think of like a set for
Yes.
like the kids' plate where they can do the plate, the bowl. They have this poly mug that matches as well. And then they have they've got a laminated placemat, but that the fabric placemat is a little bit nicer. So think of a table set that you can do with a kid's design on it, where they can then get a placemat, a bowl, a plate, all with the kid's name on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very neat option to do.
And a lot of wedding Etsy sellers do a lot of different bulks where you have like two different products together. One that I can think of from the top of my head is the really famous Roman numeral sweatshirt that
Yeah.
is for a couple. So that is doing really well. So sometimes like adding a bundle is another way to differentiate yourself. The only thing is with that though, Chris, that I like to caveat, when you are a beginner, it's better to keep it simple, right? Like pick a product and get really good at uploading that product and start getting your few sales. Once you are more advanced, then you can go ahead and start adding variations and do things that are a little bit more complex, simply because I know from experience, folks get overwhelmed where there's too many ideas and too many permutations. At the end of the day, people buy a design, right? Like
Yep.
people buy the emotion of that design. So whatever you slap it on, it does matter, but it doesn't matter as much as you think, right? Like then the sky becomes the limit. But what's important for you is to understand first what works, because then once you introduce other products, it's going to make it so much easier for you to understand what kind of design and how to do variations. And okay, oh, this Etsy seller is not doing this. Let me try to add this bundle to try to get more traction.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. You gotta walk before you run sometimes.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
Yep.
somebody's asking, how would you do these like sets? Are you able to do the sets on Anywhere PO? I think you showed us last
So,
time.
so you can do when I was in the product list, I mentioned the add variants feature, which we do have a video on. So you can easily add those onto one listing without having to do any kind of funky stuff with copy and SKUs back and forth or anything like that. We make that very easy to do. We do have in the works the ability to do so. Let me back up a step.
Mhm.
Once you do that, the customer will have to still add each one to the cart. So you'll get a listing, and in the drop down, they can select, do I want the plate or the bowl? But if they want both, they would need to actually go back to the listing and add both to their cart. We are in the process of adding an actual bundle feature where you could then have in your drop down the option for, okay, do I want the plate, the bowl, or both? And being able to have that set up where it automatically then gives both items to them when it ships. So that's something that will be coming in the future.
I love that. That's such a nice feature.
Yeah, so that's DecoPlate. Let's look at MWW. Has some unique stuff as well and a few different options. We just in the last day or so added a few new products to them. They also have some of the woven blankets like you see with Shineon. We have a few different sizes with MWW Direct. We also have woven pillows and tote bags. So it's the same type of woven design as the woven throw, except it's in a pillow or a tote bag. Yesterday, we just added this hooded fleece blanket, which is really nice. And then we added another option for a woven item. This is actually a printed item. So the woven throws, the design is not printed on it. It's actually woven into the fabric based on the thread colors that the loom actually used to weave it. This product here is woven first and then printed on top like traditional blankets that you're used to seeing. So you get a little bit closer color match when you use this one. They have a body pillow, napkins, and their product is continuing to expand as well.
Somebody's asking, so there's a few questions right now.
Yeah.
Will you be able to bundle Shineon stuff? Shineon products?
So when we do that bundle feature and any of the features that I've shown or that we've talked about, that works across the entire product catalog for anything that we have available in Anywhere POD. So if I want to be able to add to a listing something from Shineon and something from Printify, I can put those into one listing.
That's
when we do our bundle feature, you'll be able to bundle from multiple different suppliers as well. You just kind of have to watch your shipping costs on that to make sure that, because you got packages coming now from 2 different suppliers. So you want to make sure that you're communicating that well to your customer and that you're still profitable when it comes to shipping. But yes, the bundling will work for any of them as well.
Is there an option to add styles to the editable text like drop shadow and outline?
Yes, there is. Yep. So when you're in the let me go to that one I was just doing here. When you're in the editor here, over here on my text field, you'll see we have the option if you want to do curved or arc text. And then under text effects, we also have if you want to do an outline, or this is for drop shadow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And then somebody else is asking, do I need to register to Shineon before I do Anywhere POD?
So you do need a Shineon account.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what you essentially, so with any of our products that we have, this works with any of our suppliers that we have now, you need to get an account with that supplier. So if we come back over, let me go to a store that I don't have connected here. You can see underneath each one of these, if you're not sure how to create an account with them, because with DecoPlate and MWW, it's a little bit different than your standard account creation process. But we have links here where you can sign up to create an account with any of the suppliers. That kind of keeps us out of being a middleman. So we're not taking a percentage of your orders. We're not playing a middleman when it comes to customer service. If you have a question or you need support, you're able to go directly to the print provider and get any of your questions answered.
And then Jill's asking, how would you price shipping for a bundle from different suppliers? I mean, that's going to be up to you because, yeah, I mean, it's really going to depend on the shipping of the item. So for instance, I know that phone cases, usually shipping is $5 and under, depending obviously on the supplier. So you'd be able to perhaps bundle it together, but in some cases when you're dealing with other products, it can go up to $10. So it's really going to depend.
Yeah. So I think your options there would be either just give free shipping and build the shipping price into the cost of the product, or you could kind of, split the difference a little bit. If it's say you're doing a phone case that costs $5 to ship, and you're doing a T-shirt or something that costs $7 to ship, charge $5 for shipping on the listing, and then bump your T-shirt price up by $2 to make up the spread between the two. It's really up to you. There's a lot of different ways that you'd be able to handle it.
But also, there's a misconception that I want to crack today, because everybody's very married with like the $5 shipping. You can charge more for shipping than $5. Obviously, it depends. Not like you can't sell a postcard for $10 shipping, right? But some items, like, customers know they're going to cost more. So like a heavier blanket, metal art, for instance, like metal art can get heavy. So don't be shy to charge more for shipping. People know when they go on Etsy that it's not like Amazon. They're not expecting free shipping. And because of the rising cost of POD, supplier based cost, and I mean, you name it, more and more Etsy sellers are now charging shipping. So,
and with one of the nice things, if you decide to sell any of the products that we have from MWW, you actually get charged at cost shipping directly from MWW. So you can actually set up your Etsy listing to charge calculated shipping. So instead of trying to figure out what a flat price or anything, you can do calculated shipping, which is sometimes a little bit more attractive. And when you set up that calculated shipping, you can even add in a handling fee. So if you're like, okay, I want to do calculated shipping, but let's add a $2 handling fee onto it, you can do that, no problem. So that's an option with MWW products.
Okay, we have a questions from Emilenda. When a customer orders a product I posted with Anywhere POD and sends their customization, does it go straight to Anywhere POD to create the item, or does the seller have to manually enter each one?
So when you're doing text personalization, you'll just turn on the personalization field on the Etsy listing, and whatever the customer enters will pull in to the order. You can determine any of your products if you want them to auto fulfill or if you want to review them first. If you're just doing a simple, like one name type of design, those are pretty easy to automate. If you're doing, multiple fields or multiple names or something like that, we're pretty much going to flag most of those orders and put them on hold anyway, because we don't want an order to go all the way through to production and you get charged for something that's incorrect. So it's a quick process just to review the order. Okay, yes, it's all good, and hit release. And you have an easy way to be able to make any changes or little adjustments that you need to on the personalization. With images, if you want to do image personalization, you can do that. But since Etsy doesn't have an image upload feature, you just need to ask the customer to send you a message with their image. That order will come in, it'll go on hold. And again, you just have an easy way to be able to upload that image and resize it or make any adjustments that you need to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And guys, like it could be such a time saver. I mean, I don't recommend that you do auto fulfill because mistakes can happen. It's good to be able to browse through really quickly to make sure that everything is entered correctly. But overall, like that can be very time consuming. Like even with Shineon, when I used to like upload the different message cards, when I used to do personalization, we would have to like manually upload the message cards. So having this ability is going to save you more time during the day so you can focus on what really matters, which is uploading listings.
Exactly. And that's everything we're trying to do. So, when we started doing this, we noticed that, there's kind of a gap. Traditionally, the way you would create a listing is you go to the supplier, you create the listing, and then you still have 2 hours worth of work and 5 different subscriptions that you have to use to be able to get your mockups and to be able to get your tags and to copy and paste SKUs back and forth and all that sort of thing. So the goal of this and what we're continuing to strive for is to save you guys more time. So anything we can do, like I was explaining earlier with the bulk upload, being able to automatically preset a lot of stuff, those types of features are what we're really wanting to focus on, so that you're able to spend the majority of your time doing research, creating listings, doing the things that are going to directly affect you getting more sales, not the mundane, I have to click this box 500 times because this is the way it works with everybody. So we're trying to eliminate as much of that as possible.
Especially as we move into a landscape in 2024 on Etsy, where you have to have different suppliers in order to stay relevant. Etsy's ever evolving like any platform out there. So just having a place where you can have all your different, like most of your platform, like there's some POD suppliers that are not in there that I use. So I'm like, okay, but like having at least a few of them in one place does make your life easier for sure.
Yep. I saw someone with a little question about mockups. So for any of our products that have direct integration, that have the integration with the manufacturer where they provide mockups, so like Printify, Shineon, T-Launch, they all provide mockups that'll automatically be created for you. If you want to create your own mockups, we do have a mockup templates section here as well. It doesn't do like 3D perspective rendering, but if you're used to creating mockups, in Canva or something like that, you can load those mockups into the mockup templates section and be able to have those automatically created for you for any products that you create going forward. So that can be another big time saver.
We also have an apparel question. How do I upload a t-shirt that has the back and front design? So somebody wants to do back and front design on a t-shirt.
Yeah. So when you're in the designer here, you'll see here there's print positions over here on the right. You just want to make sure when you first come into here that you select front and back. And then it'll have you design the front. And when you continue to the next step, it'll have you design the back.
Oh, great. That's super easy. Cool. Do you guys have any other questions? I love it. I love when Chris comes, we get so many questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to show this to everybody and to be able to help everybody out. So if you guys, I think Luna dropped the link already. You guys will find when you come in here, there will be an overview video that comes up. You can always find over here on the left, we have a link to our training videos, our overview video, and our Facebook group right there as well. So we usually do a live stream kind of training Q&A session every Thursday. And our support team's always happy to answer any questions or walk through anything that you guys need. So never hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to help.
Yeah. So what I wanted to mention, as far as like additional help, etc. So first and foremost, I have a free training. I'm not sure if you guys watched it, but if you haven't, make sure to check that out because it's going to discuss how Etsy has changed and what you need to do in order to be successful in 2024, and how you can start earning $300 a day in less than 3 months without ever showing your face on social media. And by the way, guys, like the beauty of Etsy as well is as a beginner, you don't need to be spending money on advertising because it's a testing ground. You're essentially able to see what's going to get traction, what isn't. So I talk about that here. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I have a free Facebook group community. I know a lot of you guys are inside. Chris is actually inside the Facebook group community. We actually used to have a chat, but we're probably going to remove that because it got a little spammy these last few weeks. But if any questions come up when it comes to Anywhere POD, you can add them directly in our group, or you can actually add it as well directly. Chris now actually also has a Facebook group community, and he also has a support team that can help you with any questions that come up. The reason I wanted to do today's live was simply because I've been getting a lot of questions about Shineon and how to integrate it. I have a video that I need to update that's actually on YouTube. It's been on my to-do list forever. And also because I wanted Chris to walk you through all the other possibilities within Anywhere POD. So yes, there's a monthly cost involved. What is it now, Chris? Because I don't remember.
Yes, $29.99 a month.
Which, guys, like, I mean, that's less than having a VA do this for you every day on a hourly rate, right? So it's totally worth it. Just the fact that you can do bundles, it really opens up the opportunities as to what you can do. As a beginner, again, keep it simple. But if you already are making anywhere between $3,000 on Etsy or more, then I really suggest that you look into the possibility of doing bundles, especially for Mother's Day, because Mother's Day and Father's Day, even graduation, everybody's going after those niches. So you do need to have an edge, right? And an edge could be with a product, obviously trends, like it's going to be a variation of things.
And those holidays are the ones where you really see that personalization pick up.
Yeah.
Because being able to get a gift for mom that has all of the kids' names on it, right? It's just that one more, kind of heartstring that you're pulling on that is able to help set you apart from everybody else. And, really, if you're not doing personalization on Etsy, their brand and everything they promote, if you see any of their TV ads, they're always showing personalized products. I mean, customers are to the point that they're coming to Etsy expecting to be able to get a personalized product. So if you're not doing it, you're leaving money on the table.
No, absolutely. And the reason they're doing that is because on Amazon, trying to do personalization is such a headache because of how quickly you need to send the item. You actually also need like another set of permission to be able to do personalization. So people go on Amazon for a quick fix, right? Like, oh, I need this. I want it yesterday because I forgot to give my mom a present, for instance, right? Versus Etsy, it's for folks who are looking for something that has like that high emotional factor. They're looking for something like Chris is mentioning where it's personalized, something that is more thoughtful. So Etsy's obviously marketing that really heavily. And so you have to stay in tune with the program, right? And understand that those are the changes that are coming into the platform and you have to adapt in order to stay successful within Etsy. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Yay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining. This was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to continue doing these little Friday live Q&A. Not every week. I don't know if I can commit to every week, but thanks for joining. And if you guys have any questions, you can add them in the video, or you can also add them within the Facebook group. Thank you, guys. Have a gorgeous day wherever you are in the world.
Thanks. Take care.